You're listening to Women of Color Roar radio show on KNSJ FM 89.1 in San Diego. I'm Angela DeJoseph, your host. And this is the show that talks about people, politics, and policy. And today I am talking about what's going on in this country. And California is leading the way. We have a proposition on the ballot. Everybody now should have received a ballot in the mail for Prop 50. So we're going to talk about that today. But in addition to Prop 50, I want you to meet Doug Moore, and he is the executive director of UDW, United Domestic Workers. And he's going to talk about the union, what they're doing, and also shed some light on their position they're taking on Prop 50. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. And how are you? Thank you for being on the show today, Doug.
Glad to be here.
So tell me something about how long have you been with UDW?
I started as their executive director back in 2008.
And then where were you before?
I was with our parent union, ASME, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. I was their assistant regional director, and my responsibility was covering over 17 states from Louisiana west.
Oh my goodness. Now, what made you want to go into working for a union?
I was always involved in union work since 2000. Well, I would actually have to say it was since the late 1980s, and started off as a shop steward with the Communication Workers of America. But as I got involved with union work, I also got involved with the A. Philip Randolph Institute and the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists in the LA area. And that's when I really started understanding how unions work through different mentors and started getting involved in my union and got elected to the executive board of the Communication Workers Local 9586 out of Santa Fe Springs. Eventually got offered a full-time position with the Service Employees International Union out of LA, and eventually went to SEIU 250 out of the Bay Area and got tapped later to go to work for the National AFL-CIO in Ohio as their state director, and stayed there for a couple of years. But after a couple of winters, I said, I'm a native Californian. I need to get back to California. And came to work for ASME International and was based in the Bay Area and eventually ended up in San Diego.
Now, we know that unions are under attack in this country, and unions have been fighting for working people and gotten so many benefits. And tell me a little bit about United Domestic Workers. You represent 200,000 workers in California. So who exactly do you represent?
Before I get to that, I will have to say UDW was founded by Fahadi Jeffers, Kenan Samaji, Akili, and Raquel Beltran. It was the third union founded by people of color and founded right here in San Diego. So I have to give homage to the leaders. So our members are members, predominantly women, people of color, and they are workers who work out of the in-home supportive services. They take care of people with disability and the elderly in their homes. It is a social justice union, and we're very proud of that because of our roots that our founders have laid, and we have not strayed away from that. And we're fighters. As simple as that. They have to fight for their clients to make sure that they keep the hours and the benefits that they have earned, and we lean into that work.
Now, who pays for their services?
Their services are through Medicaid funding that comes from the federal government, that comes to the state, and ultimately through the county.
Okay, so then what's going on right now with the cuts to Medicaid is very
It's
timely
very,
and
it's
very
personal.
concerning.
It's a matter of life and death for our members and the clients who they take care of.
Now, you say it started here in San Diego. Why did they start it here in San Diego?
It was a vision of actually Cesar Chavez
Mm,
that that domestic workers be organized because as he was organizing farm workers, farm workers' wives in many cases were domestic workers, and Cesar felt that in many instances the domestic workers' wives, the farm workers' wives were treated worse than farm workers,
mm.
and felt that there was a need to organize these workers. And those leaders back in the day took on the challenge. Nobody else would. They didn't feel they could be organized because they worked in homes. They didn't have a shop floor or a place where they actually gathered, and they had to figure it out. So they figured out how to organize these workers, and we've taken it on from there.
Now, what is the demographics of the union?
The demographics is predominantly women, 7, 8%, and it's predominantly Latina women
Mhm.
and African American, Asian women. But predominantly women.
How is the this push against immigration affected the people in your union?
It was big impact, and to the point that we started an immigration department within our union because a lot of our members are documented.
Hmm.
Some have mixed status families. So it's like, how do we fast track to make sure that they're in the system? But even if they're in the system, if they go for appointments, you have ICE agents sitting outside when they're trying to go to their appointments to do the right thing. We noticed that people are not coming outside as much.
Hmm.
We've had calls with our members to make sure they're okay. So it's not just our members; it impacts communities. The threat that even if you're documented, you can get stopped and pulled over, and get detained even if you're documented.
And the fact that people have children that are being impacted because it's their, I understand there's ICE agents that are showing up at schools. Uh,
Yes, we put out as much information as we can get and find. We're being very proactive about informing our members about ICE agents. I mean, coming into schools, coming into restaurants. I mean, what kind of democracy are we living in today?
well, that's the thing because people were under the understanding that it was violent criminals that they were looking for to deport. And certainly, showing up in a restaurant and getting and going in the kitchen and taking somebody is not looking for a violent criminal, or taking somebody off the street uh, is not, or who's selling vegetables is not looking for
Right.
that. Now, in terms of the home care workers, that is an area that we know traditionally is very much underpaid and goes unpaid a lot of times. So how has the union been able to help those workers be able to get earn a fair living?
I think by forming a union, it gives you power
Mhm.
because you're speaking with one voice. We've been able to organize and get contracts in the counties that we service. Not all of them are the best. We do have challenges in some of our counties in Central Valley and counties south of here, Orange County.
Mhm.
But by building power, organizing, and being able to speak with one voice, and also involving community allies, we've been very successful in organizing contracts. We're getting ready to start bargaining in this county, San Diego County. Hopefully, we can start next month. We are very hopeful that we can uh, have a very successful negotiations in this county.
Now,
It's all about
who are
building
you bargaining
relationships.
with? Who's at the table?
It would be the county of San Diego.
So the county,
The the
like
county and the public authority, it will be bargaining with them.
I'm saying, so is it like the administration of the
The
county?
administration
Okay.
and
Mhm.
yes,
And so do you work with, do the board of supervisors have any say so over the contracts?
they approved the contract, but it's also about building strong relationships with the county.
Hmm.
We've been able to do that ever since we were very instrumental in passing term limits
Yes.
years ago.
Yes.
And because we were able to pass term limits, we've been able to uh, elect board of supervisors who were more, I would say, who would listen more to the constituents in their districts.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm from Los Angeles, and when I moved here, the board of supervisors all looked alike.
Yes.
So,
Uh,
I mean, there was a poster of them,
mhm.
and they all looked alike. They all had gone to the same schools, and it was like they all had the same DNA,
Yes.
and it was very interesting.
When
And
I
it's
came
like,
here and I started talking to different community groups, I started going out and I started talking about the board of supervisors. What I heard is, well, this is San Diego. That's just the way it is. And, I did it for like 2 weeks and I'm like, oh my goodness, where did I land? And they
yes.
had all been in power and entrenched for at least 20 years. So then I went back and said, what about term limits?
Mm,
And they said, oh, wow, we never thought about it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Every other elected office has term limits. And so that's when we decided to put term limits on the ballot.
ah,
And UDW led that fight
okay.
to put term limits on the ballot. And it was something that they really couldn't fight because guess what? They all supported term limits.
Mm,
And we passed that overwhelmingly by 70%. And
okay.
that's when the change started.
Well, it has been quite a change. Now we have the first African American woman on the board of supervisors. You know, we have a Latina, the second Latina, and
Mhm.
then we have someone who, you know, who identifies as LGBTQ female, and they're all in leadership roles, the three women,
Right.
and uh, and they are, you know, in the majority, and so that is a completely, you know, different from what it was. And so, how has that been able to help you? I mean, in terms of the union, but also we're at this point now where with the cuts coming to Medicaid, which is I think it's well here in California, it's Medi-Cal, right?
Right.
That's being cut. And so there's how is that going to affect the union?
Well, prior to this happening, we at UDW were never able to get a meeting with the CAO
Mm,
until recently, until these changes occurred. Prior to that, we couldn't even get a meeting with the CAO. So that opens doors where at least you have a relationship where you can go in and have a conversation.
yes,
Doesn't mean that the CEO is going to sit there and say, okay, we're going to give you X or we're going to be there, but at least to have a civil conversation and exchange ideas, that in itself was a first.
yes.
So, and then the staff that reflects down into the staff of the CAO and into the administration that there's open communication.
Hmm.
So that
That's
in itself is a welcome change into the county administration.
well, now we've got, you know, here in San Diego, we've got that opportunity there. But what about, I'm saying the cuts that are coming? And I understand some of the cuts are delayed until after the 2028, no, the 2026 election, right?
Mhm.
So they've delayed it so that some of the pain won't be felt until after the next election, but some of our already, I think, started to happen. So how is that affected? the people that are in your union?
Don't we can't be fooled by that. Okay.
Mhm.
We understood real early, even before there was a Prop 50, that there was a problem. UDW members and some of their clients had been lobbying against these Medicaid cuts as soon as we heard about this so-called beautiful bill.
Mhm.
Not just locally, we were flying people into DC to lobby with other coalition partners against these cuts. So we knew that this was going to be bad. And so it's not just so when the cuts happened, as I said earlier, this is about life or death for our members. Um, when these cuts occur, it impacts people with disabilities. It impacts the elderly. Cuts in hours means it's a life or death issue, irrespective to other other workers who will go back to their job and do their job. This is life or death, and I mean that when I say that. This is what our members are telling us. This is what the polling of our members are telling us, that these cuts to Medicaid and those in the legislature, not just those in California who voted for these cuts, it impacts them in a way that it doesn't impact any other worker because it impacts their clients. It cuts the SNAP, impacts children. It impacts their lives immediately. So I don't care if they try to delay it. That's just a ploy to try to get them reelected. They have impacted folks' lives in a way that could harm them in a way that harms their lives. So don't get fooled
Let's
by
just get a
that.
little bit specific. So when you say it harms their lives, for example, that means that, okay, if a person is disabled and they now the amount that they're getting is cut, that means that they can't have the home healthcare worker coming and to help them. How is it? I'm just want to get a little
Okay, let
specific
me
about how is it impacting them?
cuts in hours means that you may not have somebody there who would normally feed you,
Mm.
or who, if you're a elderly person that needs help getting in and out of bed, bathing, if you are in adult diapers, all of that is impacted. Okay, uh, that caregiver may have to get another client, so may not be able to spend as many. They're already doing work that they're not getting paid for in many instances. I know a lot of people who are listening know someone who's taking care of a person with a disability or elderly person. Those hours that they're getting paid for will get cut just so that billionaires can get a tax cut. For us, that is what it's about. We are subsidizing billionaires' tax breaks at the expense of an elderly person or a person with a disability or children so that they can get a tax cut. That is immoral. That is what our members are upset about. That is what they will fight for, is for their clients. We've been down this road before. And one thing that our members will do is fight for their clients. They are highly upset about that. They will turn out and vote. They will make sure their clients are registered to vote. But this whole thing about Prop 50, we were already primed to make sure that any elected official who voted yes on these tax cuts, we knew we had to make sure that we vote for folks who would support them, not wealthy billionaires and millionaires.
Well, that brings us to the power of the vote, and that being organized as unions are to get out and door knock and financially raise funds for candidates and for initiatives. Um, when it comes to something like Prop 50, which and just so that people listening, a lot of people still don't know what it is. I spoke to someone yesterday who didn't understand it, that the state of Texas was asked to redistrict, which is a gerrymander, basically carve up the congressional districts to favor Republicans so that they would have 5 additional seats so that Republicans can keep a majority of the votes in Congress. And in answer to that, our governor, Gavin Newsom, said, well, California can do the same thing, and we can carve up differently so the Democrats get an extra 5 seats. And so this is on the ballot, and it's November 4th, where California has an opportunity to vote whether or not we want to do this. And so what is the union's position on this ballot measure, Prop 50? And
Our,
did I explain that
yeah,
right? Did I
our,
explain that
our,
correctly?
our UDW position is that we should vote yes. But our message to our members, it's an economic message. It's about making sure that our members vote yes and hold those accountable who are stealing from us. We've had 5 legislators who voted in favor of HR 1, basically to enrich billionaires at the expense of those who can least afford it.
So California traditionally has been, a Democratic state, and yet we still have people who uh, feel it's wrong, for like two wrongs don't make a right, for us to do,
Mhm.
for us to, like, you're doing gerrymandering, so we're going to do it. So what is your take on that?
Well, again, I will just say we were at UDW, we were already in this fight prior to a Prop 50. We were already talking to our members. And when Prop 50 happened, we were already telling our members in those districts because we have members in those districts where folks supported
Mhm.
Medicaid, I
Mhm.
mean, supported HR 1. We need to get
Now,
these
what
folks out of
explain
office.
HR 1 for people who may not know?
That was the big budget bill that the president supported, which basically gutted
The one that cut.
Medicaid,
Mhm.
$880 billion of
Mhm.
cuts, basically so that billionaires can get a tax cut. So we were already in those districts, and this person voted to support this bill, which would cut Medicaid. We need to get these people out of office. Before there was a Prop 50, we were already doing that work.
So
And
how do
when
you
Prop
feel? How do
50
you
came
feel it's
along,
going? What do you hear? What are you hearing on the street? Do you feel that are people siding with this idea of shifting the districts so there's more Democratic seats in California?
one thing that we do at UDW is we poll our members.
Hmm.
We don't go along to get along. We poll our members to fill and ask them questions and listen to them. And based on the polling of our members, 80% says we should support this because they understand what those cuts mean to them and to the clients who they take care of.
Well, that's good. That's good to know. Now, coming up, we have another, election, 2026, and what looking ahead, usually, what whoever's in the presidential seat loses the Congress, or that,
Mhm.
in that mid-year, and that's why I think this is kind of going on right now. Looking ahead, what do you think? Do you see happening? Do you think that we might have a chance of things changing, or you think they're gonna buckle down? I mean, there's also the other thing is the voting rights. Taking away
Mhm.
mail-in ballots and sending ICE or people to the polls.
I think we have a chance if we work at it. And what I mean by that is we can't let our work on the work that we do for this November be a one and done. And what I mean by that is as we build out coalition partners during this election, um, we don't stop. UDW is committed to have ongoing mobilization and build out partners throughout the state through 2026, 2028, and 30, which means we don't stop mobilizing and we join other partners in other campaigns that may not even be around elections, but other campaigns that they're working on. And if we all do that and support each other, we'll be successful. And that's what UDW is doing. So it's not just about a campaign. It's about building mobilization structures that embrace everyone's campaigns that they may be working on, and building those coalition partners through community groups, other different organizations, churches, wherever we are. And that's what we're doing. It's not just about this. It's about building ongoing relationships and mobilization structures so it's year round. So if I'm in Kern right now doing that. Okay. And then we'll be doing it in Riverside. We'll be doing it in Orange. I'm going to Orange County tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's about fostering these relationships so that it's not just about election time, it's year-round mobilization partners. So that even if we're not doing anything, there's something else going on in the community that UDW is involved in. So we start fostering these relationships year-round. And if everybody does that, we'll be better off, irregardless of what they throw at us, we'll be able to defeat it.
Now, how does one become a member of the union?
Easy. If you're taking care of a client that's in the IHSS program, you can go to our website, udw.org. All of our information is on there. And if you're not a UDW member and you just want to see what we're doing, go to our website and see all the activity that we're doing all over the place, even internationally. Just look at the work that we're doing. Come to a membership meeting.
And so the members pay like annual dues to be members?
Yeah, they pay monthly dues based on the hours worked.
Oh, it's based on, so that way it's like a based on your income. That way it's
yes,
more equitable.
Yes.
And how are the wages these days for the workers? Are they?
It varies.
I know the cost of living keeps going up.
It varies from county to county.
San Diego? How is it in San Diego?
It's better than it used to be. Our goal is to really bring it up. That's our number one priority for bargaining when we open up in October.
And so
we're very optimistic.
Okay, when a candidate, for example, is running for governor, and they want the support of UDW, what are the things that you ask?
You've been listening to the Woman of Color War radio show with Angela D. Joseph.
Say, okay,
the show that talks about people,
these are the things
policy,
that we need to know
politics.
About you.
I hope you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
There's a candidate questionnaire.
Okay.
I forgot how many folks are running. What was it, 10, 12, something like that. First of all, they don't even get an interview if they don't fill out a questionnaire.
Okay.
I think only 4, maybe 5 filled out a questionnaire. So that's step one. They have to do a day in the life of a caregiver, which is basically spend the day with a caregiver doing that work. They don't do that, they're eliminated.
Okay.
So there's a process.
Has anybody done that yet?
No, we're just now got the questionnaires back.
Okay.
So there's a whole process you go through. You just don't get the endorsement.
Okay.
There's a process. A lot of them don't like it. And one said, I'm not going to do the questionnaire. Then I said, then you don't even get a chance to get the endorsement.
That is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, keep us posted.
Okay.
We want to know. Well, Doug Moore, Executive Director of the UDW, tell me, what would you like us to know, and how can our listeners get involved, and how can they support your union?
UDW prides itself on being a social justice union. That is first and foremost. We are a community-minded union also. We love getting involved and supporting events in the communities that where we are at, and sometimes in communities that we are not in. but we think it's important that we participate. And to get involved, you can go to our website, udw.org, and look at the different activities. So we are very involved in San Diego, and especially when it comes to cultural events, because our union is made up of members from different backgrounds. So please contact us and see how we can be helpful in any events and then we can figure out how we can be helpful. It's about growing our union in different ways. What we like about our union is we're not a union that says we only do this. Our members come from different backgrounds, different countries, and so culturally, we definitely want to celebrate the different cultures that our members come from. So please contact us and see if we can be helpful in that way. Again, the website is udw.org.
Well, thank you for sponsoring Women of Color Roar. So
you're welcome.
And our Leadership Academy, you know, the young women get an opportunity to learn about leadership and civil engagement. So, you know, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And well, thank you for being the guest on Women of Color Roar radio show today and bringing us, you know, up to speed on what the union is doing. And we're here to educate and inform. And so stay in touch and let us know when you have information you want us to share. And let's be your partner and your voice in the community.
You've been listening to the Woman of Color Roar radio show with Angela D. Joseph, the show that talks about people, policy, and politics. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to seeing you next time.